Lord Justice Prasanna B. Varale, all of the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my young lawyer friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply humbled, starting from Mr. Vidhanasoudha, one of the celebrated lawyers, several times Advocate General, and a good friend, till Justice Somshekar, all the speakers before, they spoke very kind words about me. Particularly the words of Mrs. Hon'ble, Mr. S.N. Murthy, Mr. Nawadgi, and Vivek Subbareddy, Shashikiran took me back to the memory lanes several decades ago. Mr. Hon'ble remembered practicing before my father as also me. He has been considered as one of the erudite lawyers who straight tells to the point. And I remember Chief Justice Mukherjee, I first started after a brief stint with other judges for the long period, I sat with Chief Justice Mukherjee. He was the one who said, "Aap wo Hon'ble ji ko jante ho," he comes to the point. That's how that for years and years, as a lawyer, as a judge, I have been seeing him, and the kind words spoken about me, I'm very grateful to you, sir. Mr. Murthy, also a senior advocate, he took me back to my cricket days in my home. So kindly he remembered that we stayed in Baswangudi. The house had almost an empty space, as that we could have a good cricket pitch. And though of course I do not precisely knew Mr. Hon'ble, Mr. Murthy at that point of time, he was already a senior lawyer. But I was at 12, he remembered those days. I'm very blessed and thank you, sir. Mr. Nawadgi, of course, a very dear friend right from the time of bar. He has been very kind to me as the Advocate General. He used to be very precise and make the point and try to resolve. Vivek, in his own style, he said that I had not changed anything other than my grey hair. Shashi, yes, he was always telling me in the corridors, when very, very dear friend, in the corridors he used to tell me that when are we going to become one, when I call you as my lords. I said, I used to just chide him and somehow Providence brought me here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long journey of about 30-35 years. Law was not new, profession of law was not new to us. I've seen my father grow. As I grew, I have seen my father. He as a judge and also as a retired judge. It took I had a fascination to be a lawyer. Thereafter, over a period of time, as luck could have it, Shashi was mentioning about Mr. Sorabji's, my association with Mr. Sorabji. At this point of time, I must remember, first I started my career with Justice Shivraj B. Patil. As I grew in the profession, I reached up to just Mr. Sorabji. Because as I acknowledge Mr. Shashi's words, that statement that he was too kind to me. He would come to Bengaluru On the government assignment, of course, as the Attorney General for India, I was the Assistant Solicitor General. So in all government matters, of course, he was required to come, and I was required to assist him on behalf of the Government of India. But it so happened that my association with him, whilst I used to frequently go to Delhi and stayed there for some time and came back, the association, the bond became so thick that by and large, anybody who wanted Soli to come to Bangalore, Soli would rather insist that they should contact me, because I would make some of his logistics easier, where he would stay, what time he would come, what all that he would do. It finally ended up that he said, he used to by and large talk to me in Hindi and 30% Gujarati, 70% Hindi, he would say. मेरे को always कपड़ा क्यों लाने का, gown and coat तेरे पास रख लो. You see, finally his gown and coat has remained with me. And when I was elevated, he was following it up, and he knew what was happening. Of course, he said that I will never, in the sense, he perhaps spoke good words about me. Then he was following it up when my appointment came. I talked to him, I sought his blessings. He said, I'll allow you on one condition, oath लेने के लिए. क्या है? वो gown and coat जो तुम्हारे घर में कौन लाएगा? Who will bring that? If you have become the judge. So by then my daughter was a lawyer. He developed some. She was also knowing him. So let your coat and gown, my coat and gown, remain in your house. Give it to Madhuri. She will bring it. With that condition, he permitted me to take the oath. These are all fine moments of life which I cherish. Likewise, several such incidents with Mr. Sarabji, starting with Mr. Shivrajji Patil, Mr. Soli Sarabji, Mr. Chief Justice Venkatachalaya. He has been my mentor and guru. I've been visiting him for the last about 50 years. I've learned a lot of things from him. Similarly, the case has senior lawyers, Mr. Uday Holla's father, Mr. B.P. Hollaji. We had an agreement. He used to be sitting in the lawyer's library. We had an agreement that on the date, if I remained absent on any day on the table, I should get him on Kashaya. So look at love and affection that he had. Initially I didn't know him so dearly. Then I used to go and suddenly ask him, sir, I want this. He used to make us get the act, read again. He said, see, don't take a chance that, I may give you a wrong advice. Please be sure about yourself. But don't ever read immediately the commentaries. Take the original act, read it. That's how that my association with him grew up for years. And at the age of, mind you, all of you know about it, but for youngsters who have not seen him, I want you to please note it, that at the age of 80 or 85, I don't know, Mr. Holla sir, you must correct, at 85 he would drive his own car, a beautiful Premier Padmini, if I remember correctly, I think it was a kind of olive-colored Premier Padmini. He would drive himself. He would check the lock 3 times, whether it is properly locked. He would carry his brief, sit in the library. He would prepare the brief, handwrite it, and guide youngsters like us. If at all, if I have done something good in my profession, I owe it basically to my father, Justice Shivraj Patilji, Chief Justice Venkatachalaya, then Mr. B.P. Holla, Mr. V. Tarkaram, who are all people who have, in fact, they have showered their love and affection on me and held my hand. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a time with very mixed feelings that I've been with you for about 3.5 decades. by grace of God, as all speakers said, I've been conferred with being the Chief Justice of this Karnataka state. It's a great honor. I continue to be with you. Anything that I can do for the country and for our state, I'll be too glad to do that. I have few things to say, few bullet points, as I always say. I think it has become a kind of a hackneyed for the lawyers. I have never believed in myself in starting from saying that has happened, that has happened. Why the person has come to the court? These must have been the questions that I have been asking. That, you see, why you have come to court? What do you want from this court? If it's possible, yes, otherwise it is not possible. And I have always requested that to give one-page note, because in my, you can call it an anxiety or my desire to see the maximum number of cases to be decided, I used to reserve big matters, and lest I would not lose the sight of what the lawyers had argued, I would always ask for one-page notes of that. And this started this one-page note started with my training with Suli. He would always say, "Kitna bhi bada brief hai, one page ka note dene ka." So that's how that started. I cultivated that habit. So I have few bullet points for youngsters, all seniors at top class. The youngsters, I would appeal to you, and I want you to please consider this and please follow it. If you take a brief, have a proper conference with the client with whom you deal. Note down the facts first. Then what's the today's law on the point? Make up your mind that what you must tell the judge. Write precisely what is to be written. Never repeat a fact. These are all yesteryear top people have followed and which I have tried to cultivate. And this will take you a long way. Next, be absolutely ethical. Whatever that happens. Whether a brief is there, brief is not there, judge gives an order, doesn't give an order. You must earn the grace of the court. There are always officers of the court first, then a representative of the party next. This is what that I was taught, I followed, and I always said in the court. And with these few bullet points, I would request that please follow this, so that let's make Karnataka a very, very model High Court and very, very modern judicial system in the state. It's not that all of the courts are also equally good, but nonetheless, if young lawyers start doing this, there will be a sea change. We have brought technology, latest technology. We have computerized the entire state, the High Court. We have the best of equipment, best of my brother and sister judges. I wish all lawyers a very successful career, and to everyone present here who have blessed me a long life, a peaceful life, and a very prosperous life. Having deeply accepted your blessings, I take your leave. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.